Okay, Namaste. This will serve as part two to the previous posted about the about energy flow and directness, or direct energy from the mind, spiral energy from the heart, how the logical pattern of the brain is to operate in a straightforward function, even the right hemisphere in trying to understand our emotions. The point of this is, according to science, we have measured, not thoughts are not measured or created in our minds. It's created outside our heads, out into the external world from our minds. However, that's where our logical thinking comes from there, and our source of emotion is generated in our heart. It's probably more what I want to say, and the it's only this that's trying to understand what we try to get from here as far as our spiral energy that is manifest, where our heart center is. Um, and saying that, and with part two in mind, let me review this. This is the my poor drawing of the Fibonacci spiral. So now, what would this what would a clandestine drawing of that that's pretty much proving the what we are as human beings uh, would look like, and it'll look like this. I know that it's a kind of a clandestine drawing of what it actually is. I mean, there's like people who are, I guess, chaos theorists and more metaphysical science than I am, that can draw this a little bit better than what I can. Now, as I was explaining to a friend of mine earlier, we have a school system that looks like this. We have a school system that looks like this, and although there has been great advances in intelligence types, we our schooling, which is an education system, our school system has been very logic directed and oriented. Now, a point that could be made from, I guess, between the illustration the illustration here and understanding our school system is the fact that you can pretty much rationalize anything that feels wrong to somebody who is more logically oriented, because there's a logic to anything. Like there's a logic to committing atrocities. Like there's a logic to this, a logic to that. The only way is the most common way is to shut down shut down communication with this. Now I'm showing you this to represent the heart. Now here, let me show you my other thing again. Now, if we are really this, if we really this, we're really as a human body. If we are really emotionally and logically centered, or supposed to be emotionally and logically centered to understand ourselves, to understand the universe, to understand the people around us, to live in harmony, then why do we have an education that is reciprocal of why do we have an education that is reciprocal of this? Well, I'm not. I told a friend one day that told me that he was an atheist. Like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in nothing. I'm like, really? What books do you read? And he says, I don't read any books. Dang, you got to be an atheist. You got to read books to be an atheist. What? Like, of course you do. Because do you think you're the only atheist? Well, I'm not the only. I say that to prove this point here. I'm not the only person who studies and has his nose in a book in books in this manner, except for I'm not really guided through a lot of although I listen to a lot of weird stuff out there. I'm not the only person that's pretty much guided through things like this. There are people that understands this mechanic, and because they understand a mechanic like this, if they can if they're on top, we want a bunch of followers. We don't want a bunch of people that follow their heart, because a bunch of people that follow their heart will believe us wherever we go, because we can logically have them contemplate suicide from a logical standpoint, and when deep down we do not want to do that. So what's the so what would we say the problem is that we have in our society? Well, here we go. The problem is that we're separated from ourselves. At any we prove that um, we how do I say that we are separated, or how do I mean that we're separated from ourselves? Now, as you saw the glyph, or the bad drawing of the representation of the female energies that we all possess in the box together, um, which shows proper functionality. We are in a male-based school system that has us to think without our hearts involved. And actually, the Hollywood textbooks, most music you see mainstream says the heart is dangerous. Your feelings can get you in trouble. Your feelings this, your feelings that. Now remember, your heart is the one that knows the problem. Your mind tries to understand it. So when you say, okay, well, you don't need to understand it. Well, you don't use common sense. Use the law. The law. Okay, well, that's in my eyes, separating fact from fiction. Now, do you get it? What do you think?